Discover the trending politics at politicalwire.com, link in the description.
Israeli President Isaac Herzog addressed Congress on Wednesday morning, describing the U.S. Israeli relationship as a sacred bond, linking criticism of the country's government to anti-Semitism and seeking to ease concerns that his democracy is backsliding. Herzog's speech to a joint meeting of Congress marked the second from an Israeli president, after his father, Chaim Herzog, did so in 1987. He characterized the true friendship between the U.S. and Israel as one based on values, and praised the Trump-brokered Abraham Accords as well as the Biden administration's efforts to broker a Israel-Saudi Arabia rapprochement. Herzog also described a lasting peace between Israelis and Palestinians as his deep yearning, though he did not endorse any specific proposals in keeping with his largely apolitical and ceremonial position as president. Shortly after his address, senior Biden administration officials announced that they had tentatively reached an agreement to let Israel enter the U.S. visa waiver program, so long as it meets the program requirements, by September 30th. Later Wednesday, Vice President Kamala Harris will host Herzog for a bilateral meeting at the White House, where the two leaders will announce a new $70 million investment, split evenly among the two countries, in climate technologies, according to a White House official. The president's address comes amid U.S. concerns over the Israeli government's settlements in the occupied West Bank and a proposed Judaical overhaul spearheaded by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government, that would give Netanyahu's allies control over the appointment of judges, among other proposals. Proponents of the overhaul say it would curb the powers of unelected judges, while critics say it would gut the guardrails of Israel's democracy. For his part, Herzog, who has previously been critical of the proposal, offered a tacit concession to observers who say the overhaul imperils Israel's democracy, but also moved to assuage those concerns. While he called the debate over the plan painful and deeply unnerving, Herzog added that he is confident Israel's democracy remains strong, even as the country works through its issues. Israel has democracy in its DNA, he said. The U.S. is Israel's largest arms supplier and the country has long enjoyed robust bipartisan congressional support, but some Democrats, particularly progressives, now appear increasingly skeptical of the U.S.-Israel alliance. Representative Pramila Jayapal, Democrat Washington, chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, on Sunday apologized for calling the country a racist state, after her remarks drew criticism from Democrats and Republicans. "I want you to know that we have been fighting to make it clear that Israel is a racist state, that the Palestinian people deserve self-determination and autonomy, that the dream of a two-state solution is slipping away from us, that it does not even feel possible," Jayapal said as she addressed a group holding Palestinian flags at a conference for the progressive Netroots Nation over the weekend. Jayapal walked back her remarks on Sunday, saying they were directed at Netanyahu's right-wing government. On Monday, 43 congressional Democrats issued a statement calling her comments unacceptable. Israel is the legitimate homeland of the Jewish people and efforts to delegitimize and demonize it are not only dangerous and anti-Semitic, but they also undermine America's national security, the lawmakers wrote. In his speech, Herzog said that he respects criticism of the State of Israel, including some expressed by respected members of this House, even if he does not necessarily have to accept it. He did not mention Jayapal by name, but appeared to link her criticism, and that of other progressives, of the Israeli government to infringing on the country's sovereignty. Criticism of the State of Israel must not cross the line into negation of the State of Israel's right to exist, Herzog said. Questioning the Jewish people's right to self-determination is not legitimate diplomacy. It is anti-Semitism. The House on Tuesday overwhelmingly passed a resolution, authored by Representative August Pfluger, Republican Texas, condemning anti-Semitism and expressing support for Israel, with 195 Democrats joining all Republicans in voting for the measure. It did not mention Jayapal by name but said Congress believes Israel is not a racist or apartheid state and rejects all forms of anti-Semitism and xenophobia. Representative Rashida Tlaib, Democrat Michigan, criticized the resolution, arguing it normalizes violence against those living in the occupied West Bank. She, along with several other progressive lawmakers like Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat New York, boycotted Herzog's address to Congress. "We're here again reaffirming Congress's support for apartheid," Tlaib, a daughter of Palestinian immigrants, said on Tuesday as Congress debated the resolution. "Policing the words of women of color who dare to speak up about truths about oppression." Earlier this month, Israeli forces carried out their most extensive operation in the occupied West Bank in decades. That came after months of intensifying troop incursions into the West Bank as Israel's far-right government faces domestic pressure to crack down following a spate of militant attacks. International observers have long accused Israel of human rights violations in the occupied West Bank. A 2021 Human Rights Watch report said the country's policies constitute crimes of apartheid and persecution.